Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. I'm Biola Labi.
I'm Tundra Abiola.
And I'm Veronica Odeka. The internal wranglings that have bedeviled the Lagos State chapter of the People's Democratic have been managed by many of its stakeholders, all in an attempt at repositioning it for a more effective participation in the political affairs of the state. A former chairman of the party in the state, retired Captain TUNJI SHELLE, has now joined us to, among other things, help throw more light on which direction the party intends to go in the aftermath of the 2019 general election. Welcome to the program, sir. Good morning.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. It's good to have you on. There's been a lot of wounds that have happened over the last election from both parties. I think that, and the electorate, people have been disappointed. I think one of the reigning themes that we have found is disappointment from even the ruling party. I would like to get your sense of how you, as a former PDP chairman, would rate the last elections and how you feel about our democracy on the state level, but also on the federal level.
Thank you very much. The last election basically was not properly handled. A lot of things went wrong. Rules were not followed. There were crises everywhere. And to cap it all, the use of the military to get much involved in the collation and the supervision of the election. This was not necessary. From state to state, there were problems. In some states, card readers were used. In some others, card readers were just jettisoned and abandoned. I don't think real elections took place in places like Yobe, Gombe, Katsina, and Kano. People just sat down with the resident electoral commissioner. They kept some people somewhere to start printing, and they were writing results. And nobody was there to check them. So we need people of integrity to hold the offices of the resident electoral commissioner, people who can be on their own, that will not be influenced or compromised. A lot of compromises go on in politics, and this has to be checked. Otherwise, we shall move nowhere. A lot of people are interested in being in politics, genuinely. But when they get there, they're exposed to things that I don't want to describe.
Please describe.
Well, let me cite a typical example. I'm sure Abike Dabiri didn't join politics to see people throwing stones, water satchels. I didn't join politics to see such things. We should be able to manage our crisis. We should be able to sit down the way we are sitting down here and discuss, agree on certain positions and implement them accordingly. If there are needs to vary the situation or review them, we sit down together again and come up with solutions. That's the way I see us playing politics, not what we are doing now. People have taken politics as if it's a big-time business. Everybody wants to make money. You want to go to House of Reps and go and award contracts or take contracts. No, it shouldn't be. You want to go to the Senate to be the Senate president. You must be qualified to be a Senate president. You must be qualified to be a party chairman. You must have gone through the Rubicon, gone through the basics to get to these heights. For many people depend on their godfathers. They don't want to work hard. I've seen so many people who don't even have the basics, education, basic qualification, and they are contesting. They don't even have the basic materials or integrity to be in such positions, and then they rely on somebody to get to the office I've seen so many of them, and I pity our situation. We should try and change it.
Thank you.
How would you assess the conduct of INEC during the election?
INEC didn't do a proper job. They didn't conduct the election the way it should be. In some cases, like I said, card readers were used. In some others, they were not. In some cases, we saw on the telly, and some of the international observers too brought it to our attention that there were underage voting. That one predominated the 2015 election, underage voting, and it's still very much around. This should be checked. INEC knows what to do. On looking at somebody, you can assess the age of that person. I can assess the age or the bracket of every individual. We are all psychologists who can basically interpret certain basic things. But INEC failed to do its job properly. Their integrity is in doubt. And I'm sure it's because there's a lot of pressure on the leadership of INEC. A lot of pressure from within and a lot of pressure from the ruling party. If the ruling party will leave INEC to do its job, fund it properly, then we shall have a good election. The last election was a sham. It didn't represent the true position of voting across board. In some states, figures were inflated, especially during the presidential election. And that's why you are seeing a disparity between the presidential election results and the governorship results. They ought to have followed the same pattern, or at best, a bandwagon effect, so that APC will win more states convincingly. But they are unable to, because a house built on sand cannot stand the test of time. So that's why PDP is now making waves, making progress, and having more states to their kitty. And it will continue to be for as long as we run this government the way we are doing. At the National Assembly, there is rift. At the judiciary, there is rift. At the executive, the center cannot hold. And some people have taken politics as if go there and kill. The example is River State is pathetic. If we have to continue like that, a lot of things will go wrong. INEC has not followed the Constitution strictly. They have not followed their own guidelines strictly too. So I pray that men of integrity, more men of integrity, will be the resident electoral commissioner. There are a lot of them. Out of 36 or 37, I can see 10 doing very well. Confident, men of integrity, men of principle. Even when they were to be rubbished, they still stood their grounds, and people knew they are doing a good job. So I want the INEC chairman to be himself, to face the job squarely. I know he is just under pressure, and he was trying to balance the equation left, right, and center. And I don't want it to cost him, this situation to cost him his integrity and his name.
Sir, I want to get your opinion or how you assess and your take on how your party did in Lagos State, their performance during the governorship election, as well as on the national level. What is your view on how this was conducted and the outcome?
In Lagos, the presidential election was marred by crisis in Okota, which happens to be PDP stronghold, Ojo, which happens to be PDP stronghold, Ajeromi and Festac, Amuwodofin, which happen to be PDP stronghold. There was little or nothing we could do. We protested, and they asked for rerun elections in 1 or 2 places. But that didn't resolve the matter.
Sorry, do you think that in a situation like this where PDP, it's understood that they do have a stronghold, that looking back now, something could have been done to have prevented that, or making sure that there was enough security or enough police presence there to kind of just monitor the situation, knowing that these kind of things could possibly happen? Or were you hoping for a fair and free election that has now resulted in violence? So how do you assess that?
I think Mr. President himself gave an order that there should be military presence. I don't want to go into the details of whether they should be, they should go there and
force,
and use force.
Yeah.
I don't want to define it exactly the way it did. Military presence should be an outer layer
Exactly.
for police, civil defense, and other paramilitary services.
Yes.
But their engagement was biased. Where they are supposed to be, they didn't put them there. Somebody gave instructions, go and protect the integrity of the election, and you are putting them where they are not necessarily required. If you saw the video tape of what happened in Okota, a policeman was struggling to collect back all the ballot papers that were being scattered. I saw that video as a waste of time. Their policeman, the way I saw him, the way I read it, he was just there to do a drama, running left, right. One policeman at a polling booth, we had about 4 or 5 polling ballot boxes were placed. Just one policeman, no other person, meaning that it was deliberate. So that it was just go there. When they are voting, after voting, you disrupt it and you start playing pranks. I thought it looked like pranks to me, so we shouldn't be. There should have been up to 10 policemen manning that particular position. I want to give the example in Lekki Phase 1. They normally rig in that particular place. In 2015, when I got to that polling station after voting at my own particular polling booth, I went there to see what was going on. Our agents were overwhelmed. They couldn't just, because I saw top politicians sharing money, sharing food, sharing drinks. I wasn't happy. I had to leave. I just talked to the agents, find your way and go. So at the end of the day, I went to the collation center. A particular person even sent me back. Somebody from the APC sent me back, said I shouldn't enter the collation center. Meanwhile, I was there officially. So all these things will not help our polity, because some people have invested so much in politics, especially in Lagos. Lagos politics is money-based, no other thing. Somebody has so much money that he could buy over as many people as possible. And I didn't go to APC or AD then. When I retired from the military, I had the interest of joining politics. Because I couldn't stand certain things that were happening in the state. That's why I joined the PDP then, just to be in opposition and try to present a different position at all levels: transportation, education, health, and infrastructural development. Lagos is blessed. There are a lot of resources. Whoever comes here, you will see one thing or the other going on. And I will give it to Lagos State Administration so far. They know how to generate revenue. Yes. But the projects they do, I put question mark. At what cost? Take, for example, the light rail project. that have been on. The delivery date was supposed to be 2011. It's still ongoing and it's nowhere. Why didn't they do it in phases? I've always advised them. I don't just criticize for criticizing sake. I prefer the alternative and the options to go. So this is the way I believe we should practice our politics. You can be in any party. Let PDP win where they are strong. Let APC win where they are strong. Somebody has to be the governor. Let the best be the governor. Let the people vote. Even if it's not the best, if people vote for that person, that's the beauty of democracy. That's what I'm praying will start happening in Lagos. But you should have a strong candidate, a candidate that is ready to work, a candidate that is ready to move, a candidate that is able to convince the electorate that I want to be the governor or the Senate, go to the Senate and represent the people, or House of Reps. Many people are there today just because nobody's to challenge them. Somebody was in PDP in the last 10, 15 years, and suddenly he changed to APC, and he won in an election, meaning that something is wrong. Something is really wrong somewhere.
Captain, I want to come back and focus on a couple of things. You've brought up quite a number of things. I want to talk more about Lagos State and the opportunity. And do you believe that your party missed an opportunity? We started this campaign season, this last campaign season, with the APC APC in Lagos actually. There was quite an internal discord in the party because there was a governor that had the right to a second term who was displaced because of the internal working of the party, which showed that just because you qualify does not mean you earn or you deserve. This actually was a big distraction for APC, which everyone would have thought this would be a big opportunity for PDP to snatch the potential victory from them, from the jaws of their big defeat. What happened, and why was your party not able to take this clear opportunity when it presented itself? And do you believe that the challenge is also, and tell us a little bit about the candidate that your party put forward in the face of this opportunity?
I think we had the best opportunity during this last election. Yes. The previous election was so good. We had an opportunity too because it was a level playing field. Fashola was a good governor. Yes. He performed. And then after him, they brought another young man, and we put forward a brilliant young man too, in the person of Jimmy Agbaje. I went searching for him. And fortunately enough for me, the party leadership from both sides of the divide accepted him. We showered him with love. We encouraged him. We did everything possible to win that election. And I'm sure he won in that election. But God knows why we didn't go to the office of PDP being at the helm of affairs during 2015. That's now history. Coming to 2019, our candidate didn't even come out early enough. Another person was working.
Your candidate actually in prior interviews had said he was not going to run again.
He didn't come out. We started investing on another option. And in politics, even when you are not interested in contesting, you should be able to sit down with the party faithfuls, the leadership. He is already a leader in the party too. Even if he joined just 4 or 5 years ago, you are a leader. You sit down with the other members of the party in the leadership position. I can compile lists of those people who belong to that category. If we want 30, we get 30. We want 40. We want to reduce it to 20, 10. We can do it at different levels. And it will belong to any of this. But to sit down with others and work and plan is the problem. So when this opportunity came, rift, clash, divisions, disharmony, everything in APC in Lagos, wow, this is an opportunity. I wish he had stayed put to work. He didn't show interest. Last minute, suddenly he had backing from maybe Abuja, which is the root cause of our problem. We started with a problem of Alimadu Sharif wanting to be our national chairman. And I knew he was going to be a mole in the party. They sent him to come and destabilize us because he didn't belong. And he doesn't look like somebody who will remain in PDP and make it work. So some of us put our feet down that Alimadu Sharif was not going to be. And eventually, we had a favorable judgment in the court, and Alimadu Sharif had to go. Some of us have made up my mind that if Alimadu Sharif was going to be a national chairman, I was going to leave the party. I may not even play politics again, because I can't just stand certain towards issues. So Alimadu Sharif, by the grace of God, the court decided that he was not our chairman. Now we wanted to choose another chairman. We have very competent, robust, experienced people in the party. And zoning helps us to sort out things. By the zoning arrangement, it was supposed to come to the Southwest. And we have a leader in the Southwest who is eminently qualified. He has been your guest here a number of times. I have cause to respect him. He spends his money, he spends his time, he spends his intellect. So suddenly, this our same candidate came out.
Can you please name the candidate, please?
Jimmy came out. He wanted to be the chairman. Some people sponsored him from Abuja. This wasn't necessary. Even when we wanted to start the campaign for Chief Body George, who really is eminently qualified, well exposed, disciplined, and experienced. When we wanted, I was calling everybody, let's start our meeting, so that our campaign can be robust, so that we can defeat any other aspirant. It was dodging and dodging. I feel very embarrassed discussing this issue.
We can tell. So
I feel very embarrassed.
Yes, another thing you brought up.
I didn't even want to go into it. But because of my nature, yes. I can't hide my feelings.
Honesty.
I can't.
Yeah. But we have to have this conversation because that's why you're here. And the whole point of this is, what is the future of PDP in Lagos? The other thing is, we had one of the shining stars of the Lagos State elections, which was one of the people vying for the position of governor, which was Badamasi, who was a former member of PDP. And one of the things you said earlier is there are paths, there are basic things you have to do to be able to run for office in the party. He believes that he had paid his dues, but party officials did not believe he had paid his dues. Do you think this would have been a better candidate for your party? Because in the end, he had to leave to go run on another platform. What would you think your party could have done differently?
All these individuals I know very well. Badamasi is a brilliant, versatile young man. But he came in around 2010, 11. I assessed him to start from the basics. House of Reps, Senate, form a synergy with the senatorial candidate, governorship candidate, and we moved like that. By now, it would have been right to become a governorship candidate. Well, some of them are in a hurry. And when we did it in 2015 primaries, he was a major actor, and he acted during the primaries because it's a matter of counting votes. It's a matter of putting the structure, party structure behind somebody. We put the party structure behind Jimmy Agbaje, seeing his charismatic outlook, everything. We put the party structure behind him. So once the party looks at somebody, this person is good to go, he can win in an election. We knew that Badamasi still had other chance, another chance to.
But don't you think you need
consider.
a radical new way of thinking about this, rather than saying you have to go through the basics, you have to go through this step and that
when
step?
you apply radicalism, it backfires. A looter, you know.
Or it might not.
You know, I'm a psychologist to a certain extent, and I can read minds. I don't want to start describing individuals because I know them.
No, I'm
inside.
talking more
I don't
about the
want to.
PDP structure
Yes.
and the way you're doing things on this basic, one must go through one step to the next, And actually what we're finding is people are leapfrogging all over the world when it comes to leadership.
No, you don't leave primary 1 and go to primary 6. You go primary 2, 3. If you want to skip a class, then you must be so brilliant that you have double promotion.
But you already said that he was brilliant.
Brilliance doesn't mean performance. Brilliance doesn't mean giving the best to the people.
But when you look around the world, if people like Macron had the same, if they were part of the same type of party.
That's why Macron is having problems today.
But he's there, and he is changing. He is making real change, which is why he's having
now
problems.
we do that. We compare them side by side.
Then you put her. You put the same person next to Theresa May. Theresa May is a seasoned politician, and she's having problems.
No,
I mean,
she's a very active woman. So,
but she is having problems.
No, anybody can have problems. I've had my own problems before. Even when you are doing well, people will find one way or the other to pull you down. That shouldn't bother you. You remain focused. What I'm saying about Gbadamosi is a young man who has potentials, but there are certain traits in him that shows youthful. So you have to balance all these things. I'm not saying it's good.
Yes.
We were even compelled to call Jimmy and Gbadamosi the elders in the society, the men at the highest level in the society in Lagos and Southwest called our attention that we should call the two to sit down together so that one can. But it wasn't handled properly by one of the parties.
If I may come in here, is that where the accusation came from, that PDP supported another candidate? I'm talking about accusations by Jimmy Agbaje.
Probably so. The two, they were even telling the young man to work with him, probably step down for him, but his language was not temperate enough. Jimmy, to accommodate. If he had promised, okay, let's work together, the sharing formula, that's politics for you. Yes. But he didn't go that way. So if he wanted to go on his own, let him go. And that was it. So that meeting had to break. And we had very few days to the election. So not much could be done to further consolidate on what we plan to do.
Also, in the interest of balance, you said here, you refer to your impression that Jimmy Agbaje did not have an inclusive campaign. He also swiftly responded with his own counter-accusations, some of them against you personally, some against the party, that he was not supported, he was not funded, and amongst other things. While APC had their internal rankings, PDP also did around the same time. Because
I think we were better off because we didn't expose. And that's where we were able to talk after the election.
Captain, may I finish? Moshood Salvador, a former chairman of the Lagos State chapter, defected from PDP, citing some of these issues as well, several others. This was before even campaigns kicked off in earnest. The campaigns kicked off, the elections went the way they did. After the elections, accusation and counter-accusation cycle resumed. Whereas, please come in.
How I wish Salvador never happened at all in the history of the party. Where some of us are a little older, but I still believe we belong to the same generation. We should be able to trust ourselves. We should be able to project ourselves. Before we choose anybody, we sit down together, look round, and ensure that that person can perform. I think we were really disappointed in Salvador. Salvador went to be the chairman. He wanted to contest for governorship. But he had a relationship with the APC, to major APC stakeholders, while he was the chairman. So it was hobnobbing between the two parties. So it was convenient for him to just move and join them. So it's really sad, but that's not what we wanted. And he laid a template that led to the rift in the party, and for the party to have delegates that were not supposed to be on the delegate list. He laid that foundation. So by the time he left, the whole party was almost in tatters.
But what will you do to repair the party? Because APC appeared to have bridged all those gaps. After the elections, they've been harmonious. PDP is still quite rancorous.
APC, because they have enormous resources, they have a leadership that is strong and powerful, and richer than a state, richer than a bank. So everybody weighs the consequences. Like some people, they felt if they didn't go the way APC wanted, they would lose it all. So let me hang around. Maybe I'll become a minister. Maybe I'll become an ambassador. That's what's keeping people in APC Lagos. But we are going to change that trend. We are going to bring out some young men now who contested in the last election that are good. They will be part of the
give us a 5-point plan of how PDP is thinking and looking at 2023 and how you're reorganizing and rebuilding the party.
First, you have used the language, we shall reorganize the party. It's not my job alone. It's meant for people.
Have you seen people reaching out, and have body postures changed?
Yes, we are reaching out. We see body language too that's encouraging from some of those people contested in the last election. I contested, that's where I was discovered. That could be the secretary. After being the secretary, I became the chairman. That should be the process. You move from one step to the other and you grow the party. But some people don't want to sit down and plan. You need planning, you need restructuring, you need to review your constitution, you need to look at individuals who are potentials and give them responsibility. We need a lot of work to do in this country to be able to...
I want to talk about your party. Yeah. How is your party in Lagos State going to unify and do the things that you need to do to actually be, number one, a strong and consistent opposition party over the next 4 years? Because that is also another place where people feel that we see PDP during elections and PDP disappears.
The solution is simple. We need many men of character, men of integrity, men who are conscientious. And that's lacking. I saw Dr. Ruben Abati reducing the problem of Lagos to sharing money. No, it's not the question of sharing money. It's attitude and character, side by side with discipline, integrity, and whatever. It's not a question of sharing money. If there is money, money is meant for a purpose. You can't do politics without spending money. Agents' money, if you don't release agents' money, you can't win an election. Agents' money was not released in the last election. So we shall look into all this. We are writing a report. We use that report to make recommendations and then look at ways here and there to build a strong and better party in Lagos, which we are going to do. I can assure you, the next election is going to be different.
Yeah. Is it going to be different? I just want to follow up with what Ms. Alabi just said right now. Within the party, as you've looked within now, and you have assessed what you want to, what the outcome should be for 2023, but at the same time, you said that people have to kind of grow through the ranks for the party. Do you think you have the candidate that is going to be ready for 2023? And if you don't, as a party, do you now look outward to find someone to bring into the party? How does that work? Because like she said, you did have a candidate. You had Badamosi that was there. He's already deflected and left. What happens now within the party for 2023? And do we start working towards that now with presenting who will possibly be the governorship candidate?
The day the last election ended, we started working. I held a meeting yesterday. People are calling me from time to time. The leadership is not sleeping. They are not in slumber. But what we are asking for is the national body should leave us to do of this job on our own without interfering. We have leaders here. We have competent hands. We have experienced hands. We have educated ones here who can do it. We can sit down with the likes of Gbadamosi. Gbadamosi went to a party that cannot win in an election. We ensure that he comes back. But let people people should not come back with the mindset of wanting to grab the governorship ticket. I'm equally qualified to be a governorship candidate and win in an election. But it's not for one person to just say, it's my right. Yes. It's not my right. If people say, no, what can I do? I can do some other things. The most important thing is that the party should be focused on...
And unified.
And even if if we don't win election and we are a vibrant opposition, checking the excesses of the ruling party, we shall get there. So the essence of being a party is not just to come and pick governorship ticket so that if you fail, you become a minister. If you fail, you become the national chairman. No, you have to work with the others so that democracy can thrive. Good people will join politics. People who have integrity, people who are ready to work, people who have retired from one profession or the other. Yes. Nurses can become good administrators. They can become good politicians. Doctors can become... Mamora was a good politician. He's a good politician. But such people are sidelined. That's where our problem lies. One party must be in office, another one must be in opposition. We won't perpetually be in opposition. PDP will do better during the next election, and that's my wish.
Good to hear that. Well, I wanted to just sort of talk to you, get a sense of how you feel about the gains that you're also making in other states. So in Osun State, where the Electoral Tribunal has declared your candidate, but then now the Court of Appeal we don't know what's going to happen there. In Ekiti State, Fayemi was affirmed as the winner. So PDP is not, I mean, there's sort of like a give and take of what you might be able to win. What do you see the outlook like for you in other states as they try to build? Because this problem of internal discord is not unique to Lagos. It is, well, APC seems to be able to manage it. It is not unique to PDP in Lagos. It seems to be a countrywide wave.
Yeah, I think there's problem everywhere, whether PDP or APC. In the case of PDP Lagos, we have an internal crisis. We have tried as much as possible to manage it, but there are influences, external influences here and there from the opposition and from the leadership at the top. I'm sure they will see this as our pain and leave us to do certain things. Some people were in office before now, maybe as governor in Ekiti. You feel because you are governor in Ekiti, you have to interfere with what is going on in Lagos. It's wrong. We have leadership here. Because we don't have a governor doesn't mean we don't have our brains. So they should leave us. What PDP should now do is to set up crisis management committee and probably...
Are you saying you're a party in crisis?
Every party is in crisis. APC is in deep crisis, except we want to pretend. But the levels are different. When we saw that there was crisis in Osun State, we have a leader somewhere in the southwest. He looks beyond Lagos. He called a meeting. Okay, let's go to Ondo State, Oyo State. Let's go and see what we can do. There's crisis between the candidates and the leadership. We went there. We talked to them. We ensured that they work together as a family. They poured out their grievances. The young man begged all of them, apologized where he went wrong, and they received him. Those people who are interested in contesting the office with him that lost, they too, they were not happy. We appealed to them, and everything went well. We were to go to Osun, but we found out that it was much more than what we could handle.
Oh, Captain.
Was a no-go area because the leadership there will not allow anybody to come and.
Well, Captain, it's been a pleasure having you on. I wish you and your party the best of luck. I think that, like you said, a lot of parties are in crisis, but we'll see what PDP comes back with in 2023.
We promise to do a better job.